All right, wonderful. It's that time and our recording has started. So fabulous. Look at all of our parents, learning coaches, students, and staff that we have in here this evening. It is so wonderful to welcome you here, champions. I'm Christy Howard. I am your Elementary Family Engagement Coordinator. And on behalf of Georgia Cyber Academy and your Family Engagement Coordinator team, we would like to welcome you to our February parent meeting and parent university sessions. We have a lot of great information that we are excited to share with you tonight. So before we get started, let's go over our general tips for using Jigsaw, our online classroom. One of the main things that we get asked a lot in our parent meetings is how do I turn off those ding notifications, which can get a little distracting, especially when we get more and more of our amazing parents and learning coaches in the room this evening. So to do that, you would go to the wheel cog setting next to your name. There's a little wheel cog. If you click on that, it's going to open up some different options. If you go to the notifications that have the bell, and click on that, you can uncheck the different notifications that you want to have unchecked on there. So if that is distracting, that is how you turn off the notifications on there. Another thing that we get asked a lot is, what do I do if I cannot see or hear at any point during the parent meeting? So that's where that refresh my connection button comes in. So again, if you go to the settings wheel and then you click on the blue box that says refresh my connection, that can be helpful sometimes when you have some connectivity issues. Another option is by typing in Control R into on your keyboard. And then finally, sometimes you may want to try logging out and logging back in. I know that we do get particularly some connectivity issues, especially in the evening when bandwidth may be kind of high in your area. But please don't stress if you miss any part of the parent meeting this evening, as this meeting and all of our parent universities will be recorded and placed on the GCA parent calendar of our website by the following evening, which includes the slides, which do have clickable links, web links on there. You can also access our slides for this evening by clicking on the link located in our noteboard, which is in the bottom right hand of the screen. So that is just some general tips for Jigsaw and how to find our slides. Next on the agenda for this evening. So we are going to hear from Mrs. Beck with TutorMe, who will share about our new free online tutoring program that we are so excited about. Then we'll hear from Mr. Goldberg, our GCA Milestone Assessment Manager, who will share a brief milestone testing update, along with information on how to find our milestone testing FAQs. Then we get to celebrate our February Family of the Month, which is always so exciting. And after that, we did have a fabulous growth mindset presentation ready for you today. But with all these important updates that were coming up that we wanted to share for you, and with the sake of time, we'll be sharing these as resources that we have prepared for you to go back and review. And then lastly, we have one of our favorite things, which is Parent University. So if you're new or unfamiliar with Parent University, this is where we have academic school leaders present on topics that our parents have requested. And for this month, we are covering how to support your student in science. So as you can see, we do have a jam-packed parent meeting in store for you tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Miss Beck with TutorMe.
Hi, Christy. Thank you so much for that introduction. I am so excited to be here. Hello, parents of GCA students. As Christy mentioned, today I want to talk about TutorMe, which is a program. We've recently partnered with GCA, and they have just been amazing throughout the whole implementation process. We know already that some of your students have been on TutorMe and have had a session with some of our tutors. So today, the objective of this presentation is so that you understand what TutorMe is, who we are, what we do, and how you can support your students, your children, to have really successful tutoring sessions on our platform. So let me get started, and I'm going to start by talking about who we are. So TutorMe is an online tutoring platform that allows students to connect with a live tutor right from their home. TutorMe's network of over 10,000 verified tutors are ready to help with any question, no matter how big or small. So we truly do mean it when we say no matter how big or small. We have students who may have a question about one part of their homework assignment, and so they'll connect with the tutor, ask a question for 10-15 minutes, and then that'll be their session. We may have a student who needs to connect with the tutor on a regular basis every week, 2 or 3 times a week. So no matter how big or small, our tutors are there to connect with students and have the kind of live session that we are having, but really in a one-on-one setting. So let me talk a little bit about our technology. When we say that it's easy and convenient for students to use, we truly do mean it. The average time to connect with the tutor after the student hits submit request is 30 seconds. I've seen connections happen, in as quickly as 5 seconds if the tutor just happened to be right at hand at the time that the student requested a lesson, or during more busy or peak times of tutoring, the tutors might all be preoccupied in a lesson, and it may take up to about 4 to 5 minutes to connect. But average time to connect with the tutor is 30 seconds, and within a few minutes, a student will be connected with a subject matter expert that will be able to help them go over anything that they have questions with. And especially if the student is working on a homework assignment or has a test coming up and they would just like to go over some of the materials with the tutor, they're able to connect with them within minutes. We have tutors available in all subject areas, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the Writing Lab, which is a center, which is a feature that allows students to upload a draft of the paper that they're working on and receive feedback. This turnaround time is less than 12 hours. So let me start by talking about some best practices for students. When you help your students your children to get onto the platform, the very first thing that students have to do is they have to be specific. And what I mean by be specific is they want to identify a specific assignment or topic that they need help with. If a student connects with a tutor and they kind of say, hey, I'm struggling in Spanish class, can you help me? Something that open-ended is not going to be as productive as coming prepared. This leads into my second point, which is the option to upload a lesson material or share screens. And I'm going to show you how to do both. But when a student comes to the platform with the specific homework assignment or the PowerPoint slides that the teacher gave to them, then the tutor can work directly with the materials that was provided by the instructor. This is important because we really want to make sure that the tutor is supporting the work that is happening in the classroom. And the best way to do so is making sure that the students comes to the platform with something to work with. And like I said, it's best, especially if, let's say, a high school student is working on a comprehensive project and they want to share the video, they want to share the different slides, they want to share, the draft that they're working on. They can share their screen or they can upload the lesson material. But it's really important that the student comes prepared to the platform so that our tutor can enter the lesson and start helping them right away. Give feedback. Students and tutors have the chance to review one another after a lesson, providing valuable feedback. After every session, the student and tutor is prompted to rate one another. And out of a 5-star rating, if the student feels that the tutor was not quite as helpful as they should have been, then they can rate the tutor with a 3 or lower, leave a comment, and this really gives our QA team some valuable information. And we look into those lessons to see whether or not this tutor is not quite meeting our quality assurance standards. Our tutors go through a highly rigorous vetting and application process. 78% of them have bachelor's degrees or higher, and 100% of our tutors have had previous teaching experience before they are accepted as tutors on our platform. However, in order to ensure that our tutors are delivering consistently good lessons every single time, this feedback really helps our QA team to see whether or not our tutors are always providing the help that students are looking for. In turn, the tutors also rate the students. And if a student comes to the platform prepared and ready to learn, then 95% of the time, students receive a rating of 5 of 5. Now, in certain cases, students may be using the platform in a way that is not appropriate. So for example, if the student connects with the tutor and expects the tutor to do the work for them or to give them answers, that is not the way that TutorMe works. Tutors will rate the student with a 1 and they will end the lesson if they see that all the students want is to get answers from the tutors. Or, sometimes we'll have students using inappropriate language or being rude on the platform. And again, in those cases, the students will be rated low and then they will get escalated to me. And then I will work with the GCA admin so that I will let the GCA admin know of certain student issues so that they can handle and let families know. And lastly, I want to talk about favoriting tutors. Again, we're talking about best practices for students. Once a student has a session with the tutor, the name of the tutor will appear on their sidebar. Now, let's say that there are 5 different tutors that they have worked with in the past, but they really clicked with one of the tutors. If they favorite that tutor, what it allows them to do is they can continue to direct message them. So instead of going through that match algorithm process, they can direct message them to set up regular sessions, weekly sessions or whatnot. And what we see with students who love our platform and continue to come back and use and receive tutoring, we've seen that they have built this long-term relationship with some of the tutors. So let me dive right into the step-by-step instructions of how your students can connect with the tutor. The very first step is to log into Clever, and then under extra resources, there's going to be this TutorMe icon. Once the student clicks on the TutorMe icon, they are taken to this landing page. And so there are no passwords or usernames that they have to remember. It's single sign-on. So as long as they click on TutorMe from Clever, they will be taken to their landing page. Now they will click connect with the live tutor. I'm going to show you 2 different things. One is how a student connects with the live tutor. The other one is how they can submit a paper on the writing lab. And so they connect with the live tutor. High school students, and then the second step is to type a subject in the search bar. High school students can type in their subjects. So it could be calculus, geography, AP literature. With middle school students, I like to recommend that middle school students start by typing in the word middle school as opposed to a subject. And that's because, first of all, we support over 300 subjects. So if a middle school student were to go on to the subject search bar and type math, they're going to get, a whole list of different math courses that our tutors can support, and they might be a little bit overwhelmed. And so if middle school students type the word middle school, then it populates a list of all the middle school subjects that we support. And that way the students can select the subject and request tutoring in that way. Now, if a middle school student forgets to do this and they just type in math, can they connect with the tutor? Absolutely. I just think that it's an easier way for a middle school student to start by typing in the word middle school so that they can choose the subjects that is available for them. And also it ensures that the tutor that the student is connected to is somebody that has that middle school experience. I did want to show you, just go back and show you that this note is right on the landing page. So it says, looking for K-8 tutoring, search for elementary or middle school. So starting again, step 1, click on the green button, then they type in their subject, either a high school subject or a middle school subject. And then once students have selected their subjects, they have to fill in this description box. And this description box is very, very important because it gives our tutors the context that they need to support your students in the best way possible. So, and I actually did want to talk a little bit about specific descriptions that GCA requires for their students. And there is a document that is going to go out to students, but where it says description, students should put their grade level, the subject or course for this assignment, and copy and paste the teacher's instruction for the assignment. And these are the requirements that GCA has for their students, and this ensures that the tutor has the context that they need. And also, as GCA admins look into specific lessons, it will also give them good context in terms of which students were looking for tutoring, what their grade level is, and what the assignment specifically entailed. So here, rather than just kind of giving a sentence or two about what the assignment is, we want students to follow specifically the three parts that GCA has laid out in terms of their description when they are uploading their work. Also, it's optional but strongly recommended to upload the lesson material that the student wants help with. Now, if for whatever reason they are not able to upload this file during this time, once they enter the session, the student is able to screen share. But uploading the file as they are searching for the tutor really gives more context for the tutor so that they can decide for themselves whether or not they are a good fit for their lesson. So once the student has described their problem by including their grade level, their subject or course, and the description of the assignments that was provided by their teacher, and has uploaded a file, they will be matched with a tutor. It usually takes about 30 seconds, but once they are matched with a tutor, they are entered into something called a waiting room. And here in the waiting room, I am matched with somebody named Abigail. And what I can do is I can check out Abigail's profile. I can still continue to chat with her. If for whatever reason I feel that Abigail is not a good fit for me, I don't think that I want to work with Abigail, no problem. The student will just cancel the request and start over. Now, if Abigail looks great, then I would enter the lesson. And once I'm in the lesson space, that's when the students can decide to turn on their audio or their video, and the tutoring lesson can begin. So the lesson space always begins with audio and video functions off, and the tutor will mirror the way in which the student prefers to communicate. So if the student prefers to use audio, tutors will do so as well, and the same thing with video. Now, for parents who are helping young students log on for the very first time, I think at this point, if you help the students to turn on their audio and you see that they are engaged in the lesson with the tutor, I think that at this point you can kind of step away. But at least the first couple of times, you are going to want to help your students to click onto the TutorMe icon from Clever, connect with the tutor, type in the correct subject, be as specific as they can in the description box here, check out the tutor, and then when you are comfortable, you can enter lesson, turn the audio on, and at this point, the student and tutor should be well on their way. I did also want to show that there is a screen sharing option button here. So, the students can then share their screen, and they will be able to share everything that is on their desktop so that the tutor can work directly off of the materials that have been provided by the teachers themselves. I wanted to say that after every session, students and tutors rate one another. This provides valuable feedback. It ensures that both tutor and students are always successful every time that they connect. And for any technical difficulties, right? Let's say you had trouble connecting with a tutor, or you forgot how any of this worked, or the audio is not working, anything like that, we do have a customer support chat service. So you can message into this by clicking on the blue icon, and you will be connected with one of our technical specialists. So I did want to stop right there before I moved on to, I'm going to quickly talk about the writing lab, but I wanted to know if there were any questions regarding the live tutoring. I heard a sound. What are the time frames? Can they talk on the mic? The tutor, yes, yes. So once they're in the lesson space and the student decides to turn their mic on, the tutor will also turn their mic on. So, and then they will be able to, basically, it's like having a Zoom conference with the tutor. There's also with a lesson space where they can upload and share all of their lesson materials. Does this also include includes tutoring for reading. And again, with reading tutoring, writing tutoring, it's important that the student comes to the platform with material, right? I have seen some young students who connected, like, 6-year-olds who connected and said, I just need help with reading. And the tutor was able to quickly pull something off the internet and, read the work with, read the work of literature with the students. But generally, this is truly tutoring in the sense that it's not a place for, it's not like an online course, it's not a curriculum that students go through, right? It's an opportunity to connect with somebody who can help them with their reading or their lesson materials or their papers. Okay, so, and yes, our tutor supports students from kindergarten all the way up to, we have master's students, we have students in nursing school and etc. But we have K12 tutors on the platform. Alrighty, so let me then continue to talk a little bit about the writing lab. The writing lab allows students to upload a paper and receive detailed feedback in less than 12 hours. This feature, I think, is generally more used by older students, who have papers to write and reports and lab reports. So let me just walk you through very quickly. Instead of clicking on connect with a live tutor, the student will then click on writing lab. And then the student will provide the title and description of the paper. Again, GCA has very specific requirements that they want their students to include in this description, and that students will be notified about how they should describe their papers. But here I think they have to include their grade levels, the course, and the copy and paste the instructions. Students who for whom English is not their native language, they will click this box, and this is more information for our tutors, and perhaps a writing tutor with that ESL background could be somebody who claims this paper. Students will select the paper, so the format of the paper. So is this an MLA paper or is this an APA paper? Now, if a middle school student had a paragraph assignment, obviously it would be not applicable. So I don't want you to think that this is only for papers or essays. I know that middle school students, even elementary school students, may have writing assignments. And so if they wanted somebody to take a look at this and give them feedback, they can do so. They simply need to click not applicable. Next, they will upload the paper. The paper does have to be in a .docx file, so it has to be a Microsoft Word format, and there are instructions on how to take your Google Doc file and make that into a Microsoft Word doc file. And once the student has saved their paper in a Microsoft Word document, they will then upload the paper, and it will, depending on the character count, it will tell the students how many tutoring minutes this paper will use. So basically, the longer the paper is, the more tutoring time it will take. In this case, the paper that I uploaded for this demonstration was about 3.5 pages, double spaced. And so it's going to take 30 minutes of tutoring. And this is just kind of the math behind how we calculate, character to minutes of tutoring. And once I submit that paper, I will receive the paper in less than 12 hours. Generally, we've seen that students will receive their paper in 5 hours or less, and I will receive an email notification letting me know that the paper is ready and returned. And once I go into my TutorMe account, this is the paper that I have submitted. And these are all of the tutor's feedback. So the tutor will never write directly onto my paper, but what they will do is they will highlight certain words or phrases or sentences and provide some suggestions, talk about the strengths and weaknesses, and talk about how what I should do in order to strengthen my paper. And that's it. I did want to let you know that there is a 5-minute student video and a 2-minute student video that shows students the step-by-step instructions on how to connect with the tutor and how to use the writing lab. And so let me see if there are any questions.
Kristen, I did see one that they wanted to clarify and make sure it is for our younger students, kindergarten. It is kindergarten through 12th grade support. Is that correct?
We do have K-12 support. I wanted to ask, has GCA opened this up to all students?
With you on that, and we'll update the parents. Thanks.
And then another question I saw was about reading. So is it particular assignments that they need to bring in, or do they get support? Would younger students get support with reading as well?
Yeah, so if a younger student were to connect with the tutor with an ebook or a reading worksheet, that would be best.
Great, and it is offered 24/7, correct?
Yes, correct.
And there's no registration required. Students will be able to log in through their Clever account. So that is a majority of our questions. So thank you so much, Ms. Kristen. We appreciate you coming and sharing about TutorMe. We are going to carry on with our presentation for this evening. We so appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
All right. So I'm going to move on. We just popped into the chat box. We will probably lock the chat box for about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I'm going to lock real quick before I put the link, because as soon as I click, it's going to go away. So if you click on this link that I just put in the chat box, go ahead and bookmark that. You don't have to go through it right now, of course, because you want to participate in the rest of the parent meeting. But go ahead and click on that link and save that. It has all the information that was shared by our TutorMe host this evening, as well as how to register in the videos that she spoke about. So please go ahead and click on that, and that'll give you some information. Also, we want to make sure you know that TutorMe doesn't troubleshoot platform or technology issues. So if your student is having a hardware type issue or a software type issue, of course you want to reach out to your FSL as you do with any of those other issues. And our student code of conduct and behavior guidelines are still to be followed I'm going to pop the link for that. If you're not sure what those guidelines are, I'm going to pop that link into the chat box. Again, go ahead and bookmark that. That's going to take you to our resources page on the GCA website that has our district handbook and a lot of other documents that we felt you would actually benefit from if you haven't been to that page. Again, please encourage your students to utilize this resource. It is a fabulous resource that we, Angela, if she was here, she would tell you she has been working to get this for our families and our students for a very long time. So we definitely want to let you know that we're really proud of this and we're looking forward to seeing it answer. And thank you, Lucretia. Miss Angela did respond to that question about whether it was K through 12, and it is kindergarten through 12th grade. So for the parent that had the question about which grade levels, it is kindergarten through 12th grade.
Hey, Michelle, I just gave him co-host rights.
Thank you so much. I was trying to find him in the list. All right, Kevin, I'll turn it on over to you. We're also going to provide you to a link on our website once Kevin gets done that has some general information and FAQs on Milestone. So with that, Kevin, go ahead and take it away.
Can you hear me okay? I hope so. Thanks, Michelle. This is first time on this platform for me, so hopefully you guys can hear me all right. And thanks for letting me join you for just a few minutes. Great, thanks, Veronica. Yeah, I'm just going to take a few minutes here to give you guys a few updates and sort of pull the curtain back a little bit from testing, if you will. Unfortunately, we don't have time for a Q&A or anything like that. I wish I could speak to all of you individually, but because there's thousands of you and just one of me, that really isn't going to work. So what I would say after this is done, if you still have any questions, if there's anything that's not real clear when it comes to milestones, first, make sure you have read the communication that was sent out yesterday. Hopefully you received that. And second, go to our website, and Michelle was kind enough to put the link in the chat box here. That will answer, I would say, 90% of the questions we're getting right now about milestones testing. So please check those resources out. If you still have a question or you're not satisfied with what you're seeing, go ahead and start with your FSL or your student's counselor or even a classroom teacher. They're often going to have an answer for you as well. If they don't have the answer, then they can escalate it up to me, and I will be happy to talk to you and try to help you out. So with that said, we're getting basically two questions right now from parents after that communication went out yesterday regarding milestones testing this spring. And the first one is, why is testing still happening? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Milestones testing was canceled last spring. Why hasn't GCA canceled it for this spring? And that's a good question. And the answer is GCA does not have the authority to cancel milestone testing. In fact, the state of Georgia doesn't have the authority to cancel testing. That authority lies with the federal government. Testing is required by both state and federal law. And the only entity that can waive or cancel testing is the United States Department of Education. And so the state of Georgia actually requested another waiver for this spring at the end of last year. And that waiver was denied by the previous Secretary of Education. The state has made it clear that they will resubmit another waiver as soon as the next Secretary of Education is confirmed, and that will probably be fairly soon. And honestly, nobody knows what's going to happen with that. That said, we have to assume that testing is going to happen. We can't just hope and cross our fingers that it's not going to happen and not plan for it. So we have to go into this assuming that it is happening. We have to plan for it. We have to make sure our families and our staff are ready for it. And in the event that it happens, we need to be ready for it. Okay. And so that's why GCA hasn't canceled it. That's why the state of Georgia hasn't canceled it. We don't have the authority to do that. We legally have to until we're told by the federal government that we don't. The second question is, why can't we test remotely? We already do our map testing online from home. We do IAs from home. Great question. We wish we could. We as a school, as a district, we would save just a huge amount of money by not having to rent out venues across the state for testing. We would not have to send teachers all over the state and pay for their hotels and pay for their gas mileage and pull them away from their families. We wouldn't have to stress you guys out and make your kids go into testing locations that they're not used to. We would really prefer to test our students remotely, but that has to be okayed by the State Department of Education, and we have been asking for years now for that, and has not been okayed yet. So not to pass the buck on anybody, but those are the two big questions we're getting right now. And unfortunately, that's just where we are right now. So testing is mandatory, testing is required. I'm sorry, it looks like maybe you guys can't hear me, or is it just one person who can't hear me? I think it's just.
I guess, Kevin, it's just that one person.
Okay, great. I'll keep talking. So we're going to keep doing what we have to do to follow the law. We are sort of walking a tightrope right now, and trying to balance on one side, following the law, doing everything we have to do as a school district to do what we're supposed to do, and God forbid not lose our charter. And on the other side, we want to keep your families safe. We want to keep your students safe. We don't want anybody to get sick as a result of this. Nobody here thinks that testing is more important than the health and safety of your families. I promise you that. Nobody goes into education to force families to do something they don't want to do and threaten their lives or their health. So we are doing everything we can to sort of walk this tightrope and do, again, what we have to do as a school district and follow the rules, and at the same time keep you guys healthy and safe, and try to make this as least stressful as possible. I do get questions sometimes about this new weighting of a 0.01% for testing. Please bear in mind that only applies to end of course testing for 4 high school classes. That does not apply to 3rd through 8th grade testing. 3rd through 8th grade testing has never had anything to do with the grade that the student gets. It's got to do with it's got to do more with promotion and retention. It's got to do with collecting data. It's got to do with informing the school district and teachers and the state on what students know, what they don't know, how well teaching is working and how it's not working. So just keep that in mind. With that said, it's still required. We can't tell you it's not required. We're not legally able to do that. Until we're told by the government that it's not required, we have to tell you it's required. So there's just, our hands are tied when it comes to that at this point. So again, please check out our site. We have a good number of FAQs and COVID health related guidelines and protocols. We're doing absolutely everything we can to make this a safe testing event. We have done some in-person testing already with our high schoolers this year. There haven't been issues. We are very strict about wearing masks, social distancing. We're booking a lot more sites than we ever have before, and booking more rooms than ever before in order to keep students separated as much as we possibly can. And you absolutely have my guarantee that if testing goes forward as it currently stands, that we will do everything in our power to make it a safe and a positive experience. So again, I wish I had more time, and I wish I could do some question and answers. Like I said, please, if what you've heard from me tonight and what you've read from us from that email and our website doesn't fulfill your questions, doesn't satisfy, please go ahead and reach out to, let's say, number 1, your FSL, number 2, counselor, number 3, teacher. If they can't answer your question, then they can escalate it to me, and we'll go from there. Okay. So with that, I will give the mic back to Michelle or Christy, and you guys can go on with your meeting. Okay. Have a great night.
Thank you, Kevin, for that introduction. I don't know. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. In the month of March, we will have a parent meeting focused on milestone testing. So all of your questions and your concerns. We will have a parent meeting focused on milestone testing with information and prep on how we are going to administer the test and protect and keep your students safe. So mark your calendars for March 9th. And of course, your family engagement team will be sending you meeting reminders leading up to the meeting so you won't forget. So we look forward to you guys being there on March 9th, same time and the different link. All right, so good evening, GCA champions, and thank you guys for protecting time tonight. We got about 389 families in the room, so we're excited that you came tonight to listen to our resources and a little bit of information about milestones. But my name is Veronica Opani. I am your middle grades family engagement coordinator, and I always have the pleasure in introducing and celebrating our family of the month. So I just wanted to go ahead and share with you guys the purpose of the Family of the Month program. It is to recognize and to show appreciation to those families who demonstrate enthusiasm, commitment to learning, positivity, and are actively involved in GCA. Families are nominated by their teachers and their support staff. So our champion families will be showcased and featured in our parent meetings, on the website, in our social media platforms. So we're super excited to reveal this month's Family of the Month, and drum roll, please. So this month's Family of the Month is the Robinsons family. So we're super excited that we were able to select the Robinsons family. Charles and Stephanie Robinson have a third grader currently enrolled in GCA. And they have two fishes named Lemon and Orange, and that is the cutest, and a puppy named Duchess, who is really energetic. The Robinsons were chosen as Family of the Month featured because they are very involved in their students' education by being there and guiding her through the process of learning. So again, help me congratulate the Robinson family, and they provided a cute picture of their family, which you can find on the website. And I would like to also plug in for our students. Yeah, you guys always have, some of the students that are in the room, you guys always have wanted an opportunity to have a night to yourselves without it being a parent meeting. So GCA is offering Champs Trivia Night for our students. And it is our first annual trivia night for the students. Our first one will be our middle grades. That is February 22nd. My middle grades family received communication from me. It's optional. Students do not have to attend and participate, but we wanted to provide that to our students. So middle grades will go first, February 22nd, because I want to shout out a middle school student actually brought it to our attention that they really would like to have a trivia night that is offered to the students. So we drummed up some ideas and came up with a great trivia night that we're super excited to provide our students for the middle grades, February 22nd. Secondary grades will be next month, March 15th. Elementary grades, we're breaking them up. K-2 will be May 17th at 3:30 to 4:30, so around club time. And our 3rd through 5th will be May 17th, the same day, but in the evening, 5 to 6 o'clock. Again, these are all optional. We wanted to provide this for our students. We do have prizes for our winners. So students, parents, please mark your calendars for your appropriate session, and we'd love to see you there. Your family engagement team is hosting, like I said, the first annual trivia night. Okay. And so we'd like to, like Miss Christie said, we'd like to allow more time for our parent university this evening. So we're going to be providing you with growth mindset resources. It is found in the presentation link. The videos are phenomenal and it's amazing, very relatable. We wanted to provide you guys with those resources. So in your free time, please check out the videos that we have for growth mindset for both parents and students. So we did wanted to provide those resources for you, but we understood that this session was very important to get all of our other TutorMe resources and Milestone updates for you guys. So please take time to view that. And so we are wrapping up for our Parent University just at 6:45. On behalf of your family engagement team, I would like to thank you all for attending this parent meeting tonight. We hope that you found the information informative and valuable. In just a moment, we are going to transition to our school level Parent University breakout rooms. But before we do that, we'd like for you guys to fill out the attendance link. Please fill it out before you leave this evening. If you want to pull it up in a browser and save it to fill it out, it is for attendance, as well as we have a feedback portion, so you can provide your feedback there so that we can reach out if we need to answer any questions or address any concerns. So again, make sure you fill out the attendance survey before you close down your computer tonight so we can get the attendance. So now we'd like to transition to our Parent University breakout rooms. And at this time, I'm going to ask the Parent University presenters and the school level leaders to go ahead and prepare their breakout rooms. And while they're doing that, as a reminder to our families, we record all of our sessions, our parent meetings and parent universities. You can find that on the GCA parent calendar tomorrow evening to access those recordings. At this time, we're going to open up the breakout rooms. On the screen, it's going to show you instructions on how to get to your breakout room. So Christy or Michelle, just go ahead and give me a green, thumbs up, an emoji to let me know that the breakout rooms are open, so I can go ahead and instruct.
They are open.
Okay, so I'm gonna get my red pointer. Some of you guys are not new to this, but the ones that are, you will see this little kind of grid next to the attendees pane. You will just click on that and choose the respective school that you want to go to. If you have students in multiple schools, please just choose one school, and then you can review the recordings, like I said, on the parent calendar. And again, we'd like for you guys to go ahead and transition into your parent universities. And thank you again for attending our parent meeting. And I'm going to go ahead and release the mic, and hopefully you guys find our parent university informative. Today, we're going to be talking about science, and all of the links are going to be placed on the parent calendar. Thank you, everyone.
So again, for anyone that's still here in the main room, you're gonna want to, I'm gonna get my little laser pointer here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. You want to, if you're looking up at the top right, that's a snapshot of what's up at the top right. So go ahead and click on that little quick move icon. And if you are on a mobile device or a cell phone, unfortunately, you will not be able to move to a breakout room. That is a functionality that we are currently working on with Jigsaw to be able to provide that to you. But if you are accessing this meeting via a cell phone or a mobile device, you will not be able to move to the breakout room. We will, however, as we stated earlier, be providing the link for the recordings of both this session and the breakout room sessions on our parent calendar by tomorrow evening. So you won't actually miss that particular thing. Is there anyone here in the main room? Sorry, you know, we work from home and sometimes the kids want to come by. So this time I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording. Again, thank you so much for attending. We want to try to supply you with as much information as what we had as a school right now, and keep you up to date on how things are going as they progress. So again, we apologize that you weren't happy with all the information you received today, but we did want to make sure we gave our very best effort to keep you up to date with what we have based on what we're required to do by the state and national government. So again, thank you so much for attending tonight, and we'll see you in a breakout room.